Okay, my friends, welcome back. So, yeah, we have indeed skipped forward here a little bit to just give you the highlights here. So we had our reload pattern, and now we're putting in a wave 7. Reload pattern is back at like 1053. See that? And so that was cool. That was our second retrace in the trend. And now, let me hold on one second here. Yeah, so as we said, we had that mid pivot, and then on the long term, we had wave 5 at the mid pivot. And we said we don't take a reversal trade on wave 5. Right, we don't, because it's an average trend, it's not an extended trend. Now we're in a wave 7. What's interesting here, now you could take a reversal trade here, by the way. Okay, so let me say that first of all, and actually we're already in now, we just got filled. So what's interesting about this one is we are in an extended trend. So 5 waves, we say, is the average trend. Therefore, we don't want to take a short. We don't want to trade within the average. We really want to put the odds on our side, so we want it to be outside of the average, kind of the wings of the bell curve, if you will. So 7 and 9. And sometimes I'll take a failed 5 short, but I won't take a regular 5 short. So, and when I say sometimes, well, that basically just means all the other energies need to align. So, but I will rarely ever take the first wave 5. Okay. So now we're good. We're golden. We're in the money, honey, another reversal trade. Remember, we took one before, and it was what I called a failed trade that made money, meaning that, yeah, we made money with it, but it didn't go into a complete downtrend. And I really have to tell you, I don't expect these to go into a downtrend because, as I mentioned in the in a previous video, they rarely do that. So even though we call them reversal trades, and that is our ultimate hope, it happens so rarely that usually if you're going to get the full reversal, I mean, from an uptrend to go into a full downtrend, like a 5 wave up or a 7 wave up, and then a 5 wave down, yeah, there's going to be other entries that you can take in the middle there. So anyway, you won't get the full reward to risk ratio if you do that, obviously, but a higher win-loss ratio because you got to, again, normally wait for the market to go sideways and kind of decide what it wants to do, which means when I say the market deciding, I mean the market participants all deciding, you know, what their sentiment is going to be. And usually it goes from decision to indecision. So we talk about different cycles in the market. Cycles, obviously, with the cycle indicator, the up-down cycle, but then you've got seasonal cycles, you've got calendar cycles, you've got expansion-contraction cycles, and you got trending, non-trending cycles, you've got order chaos cycles, lots of different cycles in the market. And in there, too, is one that kind of overlaps with some of the others, and that is where the market has made a commitment where it has a clear sentiment, and other times when it does not. Bam! There we go. Okay. Now where we are on the short-term chart is we just went down and hit the mid-pivot. So there's our good friend, the mid-pivot again, and the 50 EMA. So notice that they come in there as a cluster, and also on the longer term chart, we just happened to at the exact same time have the 15 EMA in the mid pivot. So the mid pivots are going to be the same. Anyway, I would take profits right there. That would be my first exit. And that is my first exit, I should say. And so, yeah, that's our, again, we're in the territory of cycle low. We don't know if that will be the final cycle low or not. But right now, at this point, everything is still angling down. But I don't want the market to move against me and give back profits on that first exit, because the first exit is our worst reward to risk ratio profit. So therefore, I don't want to let the market bounce against me. And since we have really 3 support levels there, again, the mid pivot, which is going to be identical on the same on the 2 time frames. By the way, that's an important point. So you cannot count the mid pivot on the short term to be one support level, and the mid pivot on the long term to be another additional support level. It's not. They're the same. So those numbers, those levels are the same on every time interval because those are just set numbers. So that's one, and then the 50 EMA on the short term and the 15 EMA on the long term, those are number 2 and 3. So triple support, just like, yeah, I'm just locking some profits here. If it goes down more, great. In fact, I'm hoping it does, right? Because I'm still short. So I want it to keep going down, but it's just purely money management thing. So again, now I'm in a position where I'm not going to lose money. Okay. So, and as you can see, there we go. It's just kind of playing around at this level. You know, you can micromanage each bar and say, well, we had, you know, went down there and then we had a green bar that went up. Then we had a red bar that went down. Now we've got another green bar that's going up on the short-term chart, and try to make too much out of all of those with candlestick patterns, engulfing, piercing, blah, blah, blah. None of that means a hill of beans. Okay, none of it means a hill of beans. So, sorry. Yeah, in this situation, that's why people always ask me, well, you know, what kind of candlestick bar should I use to go long or short? Like, dude, that's not a specific enough question. Candlesticks are not enough to trade with. I find that you just got to put it all together, right? You got all of the pieces of evidence, of non-correlated evidence, and that's what you trade. And the candlestick bars are one piece of evidence. So I'm not dismissing candlesticks. I'm not saying that they're not good, but they're just one piece of evidence. So, wow, now we broke above the 15 EMA on the short-term chart, and we are, again, at the support level, that double support level on the long-term chart. We're in an extended trend. This is what else I wanted to say. We have concurrent wave 7s on both charts. And so that was another good reason to take the trade. So I referred to earlier about having concurrent cycle highs or lows, but then also concurrent setups. Well, here, when we went short at wave 7, we actually had concurrent setups. We had a reversal trade, wave 7, on both time frames. So it was both the scalping trade and a cherry picking trade. So we generally consider that to increase the probability of success, but again, reversal trades are not a very good win-loss ratio type trade. So yes, now here's the other thing. So we talked about concurrent cycle highs and lows. Now we have the exact opposite, if you'll notice. We're in the territory of a cycle low on the 600 tick chart on the right, and we're in the territory of a cycle high on the 200 tick chart on the left. So this is the opposite of concurrent cycles. These are where the two cycles are fighting each other. So cycle high on the short term, cycle low on the long term. Again, just the territory. We don't know where that's going to end yet. Those are not as good as signals, obviously. So when the two cycles align, that gives you a much better probability. And when they align with second chance patterns, that is even better. Man, I love those. Those I love all the way to the bank. Now, the other thing to understand here is, and we're seeing it right now, this just because you're in the territory of a cycle high on the short-term chart does not mean that that's going to be the final cycle high. So even if you look back at the previous cycle high on the 200 tick chart, you'll see how it went up there, got above 80, came back down just a little bit, did not get down to 6 or 55, went back up, got above 80, and price made a much higher high. So we see that all the time where, I mean, you just look at this chart, either time frame, and you'll see that the indicator gets above 80 or below 20 and then just stays down there for a little while and wiggles around. So that's exactly why I like to wait for the second chance patterns. And that the first cross of K and D is not a super high probability signal for a cycle high or low. In fact, they have a term for this. I didn't make this up. But if we go up higher here, then this pattern right now that you're seeing formed on the short-term chart, oops, I got to stop this video. We're out of time.